Welcome back to The Founder. I'm your host Tasha Sejal, and today with me I have the CEO of Colombo Leadership Academy. Now, all this time you got to know about several businesses and several startups coming up into this day and age, and of course in Sri Lanka. But what's the next step? Taking it further is Riaz Hassen with me. How are you doing today?
All good, Tasha.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me about yourself and tell me about your company.
Yeah, Colombo Leadership Academy was formed about 9 years ago. Yeah, and we thought there was a space for emerging leaders to be developed. It's in the space of global talent management. And we identify ourselves as an executive coaching entity, helping emerging leaders to go to the next levels through leadership transformation and leadership development.
Okay, cool. So what really inspired you to get this going?
One thing, as I've been in the corporate sector for about 30 years, we find a dearth of highly qualified people entering from their functional domains into the corporate world. But at some point that we realize the performance alone or a great performer may not be a leadership material. So what we thought, there is a space that is available to groom future leaders who are very agile and who are quite optimistic about what they need to do in the organizations,
Right.
to create a high performance culture and to accelerate their growth as well as the company's growth.
Right. So I mean, imagine, like I can imagine you've been in this for a very long time, and you've seen all sorts of startups and businesses come up.
Yeah.
Right. So what is it like to see it happen? Like the process of it all.
It was difficult as we started because the industry was more onto training functional domains of
Right.
people.
Right.
Whether it's finance or manufacturing, they thought they should be more equipped with the functional domain.
Right.
But we thought, okay, great, if your ability is on the functional domain, that will restrict you beyond a certain point that you will not be able to accelerate. So what we thought at CLA, that getting out of the functional domain, you need to perform a leadership role
Right.
from a middle management level to the next level.
Okay.
So what are your leadership competencies, and how one could navigate to the next point
Right.
through meaningful transformation?
Right. And how does that transformation basically happen?
It's a coaching process.
Okay.
It's very new here. Though in the West it's very much practiced by and large in many sectors. So in the coaching process, what the coach does is we use a scientific tool, we assess the participants' leadership competencies and get into a very deep coaching conversation.
Okay.
And we call it, we do a deep diving
Deep diving.
into a point through this immersive conversation and find out what were your limiting beliefs
Okay.
that was holding you back from not getting to the point that you want to go to.
Right. Right.
So that space is very difficult to explore.
Okay.
So it needs the coach and the coachee to open themselves.
All right.
So that deep diving helps you to discover that point that is holding you back.
Okay.
From that point, we trigger the transformation journey, depending on where the aspirations are of the participant.
Okay, cool. So when it comes to starting up a business, of course there would have been a whole lot of difficulties in the beginning. Was there ever a frustrating moment for you within the?
I would say never, because
okay.
I've been in the corporate industry, working in very diverse sectors, also in board positions. We were observing, personally I had a passion for transforming people. So we were observing that what it takes to really groom a good leader. So that helped me to prepare myself, unlike any other startup, much earlier while I was in the corporate world.
Okay.
So I got myself certified, obtained lots of strategic partnerships globally. And I had to put my name behind and create the company, Colombo Leadership Academy.
Right.
So it was easier to strategically partner companies around. And they share lots of trends, behavior patterns of leaders, and that knowledge sharing helps us to groom and impart those skills while we do the coaching.
Okay.
So the challenges, unlike a startup, we were much ready, very prepared when we entered this space, and we also found we were a unique proposition when it came to offering the transformation journey for leaders.
Right, that's really cool. And also, what is a marketing strategy that you rely on?
Our marketing strategy, initially we were felt very expensive because executive coaching here as well as around the world is very expensive. So one of the challenges were reaching to the HR folks and saying, this is what we do, how we help your future leaders accelerating towards the next level. So in the beginning it was a no, but some companies, some large corporates felt the need to develop their leaders early, so that in terms of diversifying their businesses, or when it comes to succession planning, the leaders and the talent pool was prepared. So we started working with many such firms on a structured leadership coaching and transformation journey. And over the years, we have built a fairly large database of large corporates and multinationals who work with us.
And that basically is quite a lot of success stories
yes,
as well.
Yes, a lot of success stories, and we have done over 3,000 leadership profiles in Sri Lanka of men and women. Also, something very interesting is we find almost about 800 female leaders being profiled in their leadership competencies.
That's amazing.
And we find themselves driving, they are more driven than the men here.
Than the men here.
Yeah, so they are very innovative. Once you are in a senior leadership position, you are compelled to drive for results and also to develop you. So the competencies among women are showing great results, and they are somewhat driven and more creative overall.
Now, when it comes to like a startup, for example, I want to start up something. So you would probably guide me towards the right path, right? When it comes to business and everything else. And that's how the process works, right?
Yeah. In the entrepreneur coaching, when there are startups or someone who's coming out with a passion, I want to launch this product.
Yes.
So we try to distinctively distinguish the passion versus the obsession. Sometimes you're very passionate, it's fine. Then we look at that product or the service that you are trying to offer and see how this could be marketable.
Right.
Because an entrepreneur's success depends on how you make profit, how you market. So if you are just doing out of passion, it could be a charity, it could be a non-governmental organization.
And that's how most of the businesses go towards the charity side as well.
Yes,
so.
But when you're obsessed, when you have an idea that you anyway want to launch, then you might hit a roadblock because you have not really looked at other challenges out there in the market, how competitors behave, what pricing models that you have to do, how do you
so you
position.
Look into pretty much every.
Yeah, it's a kind of a deep analysis of the
deep diving.
Deep diving, and helping the entrepreneur to walk out with the business entity registered, with the intellectual property rights like brands and things already in place, so that once we coach and send these people out, they are ready as an entrepreneur. They walk into the arena, and that's where the battle starts.
That's where the battle starts. So you basically prep them for the fight.
Absolutely.
So, Mr. Riaz, you're absolutely amazing at what you do. And was there ever a point in your life where you wanted to do something else instead of this?
Not really, because this is a dream that I always had, and I was inspired by my former chairman.
Right.
Mr. Ishwaran. He always felt that you have a bigger purpose. Out there in the market needs people who needs a lot of help in transforming them, helping them to go to next levels. So we did go and see lots of other speakers around the world, how they do it. And there was a lot of inspiration that I got from them. Then I thought you need to be equipped well to do that. Just because you are coming out of a corporate world doesn't mean that you can coach anyone. So there are coaching certifications. We are also a culture body here. We represent Hofstede's from Finland.
Oh, that's cool.
We measure the organization cultures. So we had enough time to prepare ourselves before entering into this space.
Okay, and since we're on the topic of everything success, what is your definition of success?
Our definition, or the CLA's definition of success, is where a high degree of contention in whatever you do. The material success could be defined in terms of earning money or building assets and things like that. Our definition of success is how we help a meaningful transformation to someone. So there's a win-win situation, and we are so happy to see how we nurture these leaders, and from that point how they navigate into their next levels.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that makes us happy, and that's our passion too.
That's a good answer. Mr. Riaz, I have to ask you, what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Well, a new day to us means there are new challenges.
Yeah.
And what we mitigated earlier may not be the same when we have confronting new challenges the next day.
Right.
So be ready to prepare for uncertainty, a lot of challenges. So what made you success yesterday may not help you to work today.
That's true.
So we come out with an open mind. There are many challenges and a lot of ambiguity outside. So to keep ready to roll out and face and take it head on.
Right.
So that gives an inspiration to expect the day with a lot of challenges.
That's a really good answer. All this time we get like answers like my kids get me out of bed, coffee. For
They
most
used to.
of-
They used to. They used to.
Now it's a different meaning to you, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, talking about where you are right now, if you ever had the chance to like have a different kind of business, or if you ever wanted to take over another brand or a company, is there anyone that in particular?
Maybe in this
Yeah.
same domain, there are other global firms looking at Sri Lanka
Yeah.
to enter into the executive coaching and leadership transformation area. We are looking at a lot, but this alone, in the industry alone, gives us a lot of purpose. It's very purposeful in
Right.
our engagement, and we are happy end of the day providing a transformation journey to someone,
Right.
and it's a win-win situation.
Now we're coming into a brand new year, 2020. What are you hoping for the new year and like for the company as well?
The company as a whole, other than executive coaching, we do employer branding, which is technically called developing the employer value proposition.
Right.
And we also run an annual awards called the Great Manager Awards, which is globally partnered by People Business.
Okay.
So we are scaling up.
Okay. That's good.
The challenge that we face is the executive coaches in Sri Lanka are very much minimal
Right.
or less numbered. So we opt to hire foreign coaches, fly into Sri Lanka to do some of the coaching with our facilitators.
Okay. Okay. Now we're getting into the fun part of these questions. Anything crazy that you've done at office?
Everything looks crazy to us
Okay.
because when we came out to the market and introduced there is executive coaching,
Okay.
when the market had a load of MBAs and MScs and all qualified people, and why do you need executive coaching? So people looked at us from a crazy point of view, like these guys are crazy. But then the dearth of qualified people, maybe it's doctors, engineers, or even financial people, to get into the leadership point, you need to really get away from the individual contributor's mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's very diverse outside,
Right.
and the corporate world is very challenging.
It's very challenging.
And lots of things are happening, changing in a very fast pace. So leaders have to be equipped to take on to these challenges and emerge effective all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in that context that we think we are helping people to grow
Right.
and to transform. It equally benefits your personal life and the career side.
Yeah, that's true. Now, since the show is called The Founder, if there ever was a chance for you to sit with a founder that you admired for dinner, maybe, who would it be, locally or internationally?
Many, because founders wouldn't have come to the point that they are today
Yeah.
without the help of their co-workers
True,
and
true.
others who helped in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, though many names are crossing my mind,
Yeah.
I would say I would love to go and have dinner with a founder who still recognizes someone who helped them to come to this point today,
Right, right.
and where there's a lot of humility, there's a lot of
Exactly,
inclusiveness. Yeah. Not a particular name, but there
Not a
may be so many founders who still value the contributions made by others to come to this point.
Who are still grounded and at the
Absolutely,
same time
yeah.
humbled as well. So that's really
So There are so many people, so I don't mind going for dinner with any one of those to find those experiences.
That's true. Now I'm gonna ask the question that everyone is probably waiting for, knowing that you are so experienced. What kind of advice would you give to a new startup or a new entrepreneur, you know, coming into business and wanting to do their own thing today in this world?
Yeah, entrepreneurs, sometimes we find among millennials, they are not ready to go into the work environment or to the corporate world.
Yeah, now we have the X generation too, like it's just so
the
many.
Gen Z, they want
Gen
to
Z,
come and anyway launch their product or service, and they stay at home and do it. My message for the entrepreneurs is be very focused, be very passionate, but don't be obsessed with your idea.
Right.
Because when you're obsessed with your idea, you alone dream it, you alone think that this will work.
Yeah.
So the risks are very high.
Yeah.
Because the stakes outside the outside your room is different. The challenges are very high. So always get and talk to people who could give you advice, how they started, what were the challenges they had, and weigh the pros and cons, and then have a soft start and then come out with that.
And don't you think like nowadays everyone can be an entrepreneur, anyone can be a startup, and technology is making it easier too. What do you think, like compared to back then and compared to now? Is it easier
now you can also get a lot of mentoring online. There are enough YouTube videos to see.
You don't have to leave home.
From the conceptualizing stage to the launch stage. And then social media is helping a lot. And above all, there are enough analytics.
Yeah.
How big the market is, what type of profits that you could make. So the young entrepreneurs must make use of these insights.
Right.
So that you don't even need a mentor, but you have enough of data for you to compare with what you are planning to do, whether it's a cakery or a cupcake or a startup hub. So there are enough data out there for you to compare and then trigger the next moves.
Next moves, yeah. So basically tackling things diplomatically and strategically.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other challenge they would have is from a single person, when you grow up or scale up, you might have a very diverse team who will be working for you.
Okay.
So your ability to manage people, how people savvy are you given the challenges, and how you create these very collaborative cultures, you got to learn that.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have had it in the past. From a single mind, you thought everything.
Yeah.
You were like a cheerleader, you were the founder, you were the manufacturer, the accountant. Yeah. So when you grow bigger, you might have to work with a very diverse set of people. So then that forces you to manage people and diversity and include as many as you can.
Right, right. It has been amazing talking to you, Mr. Riaz, and you know, we are here at the wonderful Colombo Cooperative, which is our venue sponsor right now, and you know, they've been providing us this amazing workspace. They are giving people so many choices right now for new startups, new businesses, to let their mind flow with creativity and also have their very own workspace. Big love going out to Colombo Cooperative, and they would like to know what your first workspace was like.
At the time that we launched, about 9-10 years ago, the startup hubs were not that popular. It was maybe in the infant stage. So what we did, we moved into a much larger place. We built our own workspace, auditoriums, and large offices. Then 4 years down the line, we shifted back to a different model, and some of our team members operate virtual, who could provide their expertise, not having to come to work, but from another station. So it's great to have startup hubs. It really helps a young individual, but as they grow, then they might realize, okay, my model is changing, my business model is different. So the virtual environments are becoming very popular now. So when you're scaling up, you need to really see the costs of rental and space, and then take a decision on that.
Right, right. One more question. I need to ask you where people can find you in terms of social media platforms, and how can they get in touch with the Colombo
Yeah, we have a website
Leadership
called
Academy.
clacoaching.com.
Okay.
CLA stands for Colombo Leadership Academy.
Yeah.
And my blogs are available as Riaz Hassen, from Twitter to LinkedIn to Instagram and all the other platforms. We have loads of YouTube videos.
Right.
So it's a matter of keying in
Keying
the
in.
search, and we appear in almost all search engines.
Yeah.
And in some search engines, we are among the top 10.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. I wish you all the very best of luck
Thank you.
for the new year.
Thank you.
And yeah, hope to seeing you soon. And of course, if you want to get to know about Mr. Riaz Hassen over here from the Colombo Academy, of course, the Leadership Academy, for further details on how you can take your business or your startup to the next level, definitely get in touch. All right, that is a wrap right here. Thank you very much,
Thank
Riaz,
you,
for joining
Tasha.
me
It's been a
today.
pleasure.
And yeah, see you next time on The Founder.
Let's begin.